Your hand is already moving toward it. You haven't even decided to check. Your thumb finds the button before your brain finishes the thought. It feels like a bad habit. It feels like weakness. But the real answer is far stranger. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about apps designed to hook you, although they are. This is about a circuit in your brain that is over 2 million years old, built for a world with no screens at all, now firing off in a pocket-sized rectangle 40, 60, 100 times a day. To understand why you check your phone, you have to go back. Not to the last decade, not to the invention of the smartphone. You have to go back to the savannah.
Your ancestors lived in small bands, maybe 30 to 50 people. Survival depended on information. Where was the fruit tree this season? Was that rustle in the grass a predator or the wind? Who in the group could be trusted, and who was quietly plotting something? A brain that scanned constantly for new information wasn't anxious. It was alive. It was safe. A brain that ignored a new sound, a new face, a new shift in the group might not survive the week. So evolution did what it always does. It rewarded the behavior that kept people alive. It built a dopamine system that didn't just reward you for finding food or finding a mate, it rewarded you for seeking. The search itself became the reward, separate from whatever you actually found. Neuroscientist Kent Berich spent decades studying this exact distinction. He found that the brain has two separate systems, wanting and liking. Wanting is the dopamine-driven urge to seek something out. Liking is the actual pleasure once you get it. Berich's research on rats showed something unsettling. You can crank up wanting without touching liking at all. The animal will compulsively seek a reward it doesn't even particularly enjoy anymore. Sound familiar? Every notification is a tiny, unpredictable pulse of new information. A message, a like, a headline. Your ancient brain doesn't know the difference between a text from a friend and a rustle in the grass. It just knows something changed, and something changing might matter. It might be food, it might be danger, it might be a rival plotting behind your back. Best to check immediately. Here's where it gets stranger. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something in the 1950s that casinos and later tech companies would exploit for the rest of the century. He put pigeons in a box with a lever. Some pigeons got a food pellet every single time they pressed it. Those pigeons pressed it when they were hungry, and that was it. Simple, predictable, boring to their brains. But the pigeons who got a pellet only some of the time on no fixed schedule pressed that lever obsessively, over and over, long after they were full. This is called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. Unpredictable rewards create far stronger compulsions than predictable ones ever could. Your phone runs on this exact schedule. You don't get a like every time you post. You don't get a message every time you check. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's something wonderful. You never know which it will be, and that uncertainty is precisely what keeps your thumb moving toward the screen. Not despite the unpredictability, because of it. Now think about your ancestors again, scanning the horizon. They weren't looking for a guaranteed reward either. Most scans of the horizon revealed nothing. No predator, no opportunity, just grass and sky. But every so often, that scan revealed something critical. A herd, a threat, a rival band approaching. The brain that kept scanning despite the mostly empty results was the brain that survived the one time it mattered. Your phone has taken that ancient scanning circuit and given it infinite fuel. There is always something new. There is never a natural stopping point. The horizon used to run out. The feed does not. There's a second layer to this, and it's just as old. Humans are, before almost anything else, a social species. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has spent his career studying group size and social bonding in primates, and his research suggests something remarkable. The human brain evolved its enormous size largely to track social relationships. Who is allied with whom? Who owes a favor? Who broke a promise last season? Dunbar's number, the famous figure of roughly 150 stable relationships a human brain can meaningfully track, comes directly from this research. Social information wasn't a luxury for your ancestors, it was survival infrastructure. Being cut off from the group, socially invisible, wasn't just lonely, it was often fatal. So your brain treats social information, who's talking about you, who liked your photo, who left you on red, with the same urgency it once reserved for predators and food sources. This is why a notification from a person feels different from a notification from an app. It is. Your brain is running an ancient tribal monitoring system on modern hardware it was never designed for. Every buzz might be a signal about your standing in the tribe. Ignoring it doesn't feel neutral. It feels risky, even when you know, rationally, that it isn't. Here's the twist that most explanations of phone addiction miss entirely. This isn't a design flaw in your brain. It's not broken. It was working exactly as intended for about 200,000 years.
The problem is that the environment changed catastrophically fast, and your neural wiring didn't get the memo. Evolution operates on a timescale of tens of thousands of years. The smartphone has existed for less than 2 decades. Your dopamine system, your social monitoring circuits, your novelty-seeking instincts, all of it was fine-tuned for a world of scarce information delivered by real, present humans in a small, stable group. Now that same system is exposed to infinite information delivered by billions of strangers, engineered specifically to exploit the variable reward loop Skinner documented 70 years ago. You are not weak-willed. You are a Pleistocene brain living in a world its designer, evolution, never anticipated. The mismatch isn't your fault. It's structural.
Researcher Trevor Haynes, writing on the neuroscience of social media, has described how platforms are literally engineered around these ancient reward circuits, using notification timing, red badges, and infinite scroll specifically because they exploit the wanting system Barrage identified. This isn't speculation, it's documented product design, built by teams who understood the neuroscience before most users ever did. So what do you do with this? You can't uninstall 2 million years of evolution, but understanding the mechanism changes something. When you feel that phantom urge to check, that itch before you've even registered a notification, you can recognize it for what it is. Not a personal failing, not proof that you lack discipline, just an ancient scanning circuit doing exactly what it was built to do, in an environment it was never built for.
Some people have started treating this knowledge practically. Turning off badge numbers removes the visual trigger, but not the urge itself. Batch checking messages at set times gives the wanting system a predictable schedule instead of an unpredictable one, weakening the compulsive pull Skinner's pigeons taught us about decades ago. None of this erases the circuit. It just stops feeding it the exact conditions that make it strongest. Think about the last time you picked up your phone without deciding to. There was no conscious choice in that moment. There rarely is. Somewhere behind that motion is a brain still scanning the horizon, still listening for the rustle in the grass, still tracking who in the tribe is talking about you tonight. It doesn't know the grass is gone. It doesn't know the tribe is now several billion strangers on a server somewhere. It only knows that something might have changed, and that something changing for 2 million years has meant pay attention now, or risk missing what matters most. Your hand is already moving toward it. Now you know why.